Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Team Doctor, where I take a look at user-submitted teams, and I make alterations. I, as a medical professional, attempt to improve or fix the teams submitted to me from the viewers at home. Today's submission is from Tier 2 patron Boogario. Thank you for the support and thank you for the submission. If you would like to submit a team to the Team Doctor series, take a look at the description below for the Patreon link for details. This team right here is themed around the Sonic video games. We've got Knuckles the Hedgehog, Tails, and of course Sonic himself. Metal Sonic also making an appearance. I don't know who Fat Sonic is. Not familiar with that character, but here he is. This is, at a glance, this team doesn't look too bad. It's a mixed offense squad with Blaziken, and I think Blaziken does fit on this style very nicely. It's a pretty nice lead on a mixed offense team. It threatens a wide array of things, and it has great... It supports the game plan nicely. It can enable various things. Chip on the Swampert can enable a Tyranitar, for example, if you HP grass them on incoming. Zapdos, classic Pokemon on such an archetype, with Dry Pass and simple Bolt Beam or Thunderbolt Grass coverage, you can get a lot done. I think you've got the right idea with the Choice Band Metagross. This is a Pokemon that can force trades and break through something like a Skarmory or a bulky Water type. I don't think it quite fits on this team, but it can fit on this archetype, and I think you guys are getting a better sense of structure as time goes on with these team submissions. They are getting better. They're making more sense. This is the kind of Pokemon that does fit on this archetype. I will change the set later, but I just want to give credit where it's due to the fans for becoming a little bit better at the team building. We've got the offensive Swampert, which I think is a great Pokemon on a mixed offense team. This is one of my favorite Pokemon in the current metagame. It really destroys fat teams that you see at the moment. I think it should be used more often. I think offensive Swampert is really great. And this is the kind of set that you want to see on a Snorlax as well. This Curse to Self-Destruct Snorlax. Now this set doesn't have enough attack investment to kill Skarmory after the self-destruct. You're a little bit more bulky. I think you want a more offensive spread here. We'll get to that later, but the idea is sound. Curse Self-Destruct or Focus Punch for attacks, sets like that are good on these mixed offense teams to break, do chip damage to Skarmory with the Focus Punch, or Curse Self-Destruct also threatens Skarmory. If you're not running Mag, you want something against Skarmory, and Snorlax is just good. It fits with the pace of the team. You want, like, Explosion users are always good on these teams. Trading is good. These kinds of defensive Pokemon with a lot of offensive power, they turn defense into offense and keep momentum up. Give you momentum. And I think this Pokemon right here, the Suicune, is the odd one out. I believe that Boogario said there was some kind of game plan with agility passing Zapdos. Agility passing speed to the Suicune. I think that this idea doesn't fit with the whole team. I think that, Suicune, it's a special threat. It's not really... I don't think it fits here on a mixed offense team. A simple Blissey will just completely beat this. And mixed offense is all about threatening common defensive Pokemon all at the same time. You want to threaten Skarmory, Blissey, Swampert, Gengar, Melodic, whatever, with all your Pokemon. Suicune doesn't really do that. It doesn't threaten a wide array of things, and there's no real teammate support. There's nothing that lures in Blissey to kill Blissey or chip it down. Like, none of these Pokemon really invite in Blissey and force it to take damage. So the Suicune, I don't really see it doing much unless you just get a God matchup without anything that beats you, which that is not a sound game plan. You want to have a team that is considering the metagame. The Suicune is going. Other Sonic, I'm sorry, you don't fit here. Offensive Suicune, great set, fits on various other teams, like Spikes or special offense teams or some other sort of boom spam type things, maybe. But not this team. I don't think it works on this team. And the first thing I'm going to change here is the Zapdos set. Agile Pass The only real receiver was the Suicune, and as I said, the Suicune didn't get enough support to justify this agile pass game plan. We want just a good old-fashioned offensive Zapdos, and I'm going to change the set here from the standard one. I think I like an HP Ice Zapdos with Toxic here. The combination of Ice and Toxic, you threaten a lot of stuff. T-Bolt and Ice hits a lot of stuff, and this makes you more solid versus like Flygon, which can give you problems when like the only thing that hits Flygon on the team is Ice Beam Swampert. Swampert can get worn down, Spike chipped, and whatnot. I think you want one other thing that hits Flygon, because that Pokemon can be a real annoyance sometimes. It can just dodge everything, never die. And I think that with Ice and Toxic, Toxic is the compromise when you're not running Grass, because it'll hit a Swampert coming in and cripple it. It'll do something to an incoming Swampert trying to ruin your day, come in on the thinking it can wall you with T-Bolt Ice. And it's also a good move to click into incoming Blissey. Random incoming miscellaneous Pokemon such as, I don't know, Camerupt. If they happen to have Camerupt or something that is like a zap counter, Toxic is a good catch-all, own something coming in to defeat you. And then Dry Pass is just good on these teams, you know. Force a switch, batten, pivot, react to what they do, keep the pressure going. Always good on these types of teams. I think Dry Pass is good on mixed offense. I'm going to change this Metagross set to a mixed Metagross, because I think you want Psychic to hit Gengar. That's the main reason. Gengar can be a problem for these teams sometimes. It can just spam Wisp. Nothing can come in on Wisp very nicely, and it just annoys you to death, and you can't really kill it. But at least with Psychic, you have a way to just one-hit it. Some Gengars are foolish, and they'll try to Wisp you, thinking you're a physical set. They're going to get owned. Psychic is also just good neutral damage against stuff that commonly comes into Metagross, trying to take a mash, like Swampert or Melodic or Moltres, you know? You'll deal like 35-ish to those guys, and that's pretty nice chip, better than a physical set could do. I would like to add an additional teammate. I'm going to be controversial here and add a Tyranitar to this Gen 3OU team. I think a Tyranitar might be advantageous on the Generation 3OU competitive team. And I'm going to nickname it something in line with the theme. We've got Sonic 2006 on the welcome to the squad. You can be shiny. With the Blaziken that lures in and perhaps HB Grass's Swampert, you get the Metagross can bait in and like Psychic down or explode the Swampert. You could even consider HB Grass if you want. I think you probably can't go wrong with HP Fire, because it's another way to threaten Skarmory, and maybe you want fire coverage. If Blaziken goes down, you need something to hit Forretress, because Forretress can be a bastard sometimes. But yeah, I think that this team can decently enough beat down Swampert to enable this Tyranitar win con. And then if they have Flygon as the rock resist, you have HP Ice Zap. You have this offensive Swampert. I think that a simple DD Tar can go a long way. I don't know if you're on HP Bug or Double Edge. Might be HP Bug to be better versus Starmie and Claydol. And even Celebi. Because they can, you look at the team, Starmie, Claydol, Celebi can be a bit problematic here. We do have Snorlax, but Snorlax gets worn down. And the Tyranitar can outrun Starmie after a Dragon Dance and actually just smack it with HP Bug. Claydol can be problematic. Even though you're not running Spikes, it can just like wall this particular Blaziken set. It can give Zapdos problems maybe. Threaten Explode versus everything. So this way you can actually like two-hit it or even kill it if it's chipped. Maybe not as much of a concern as the Starmie. And Celebi, I do think you want an extra option versus Celebi, so... As I said, I will change the... Let me get a secret spread off from off screen. You want max attack or close to it on the curse self-destruct sets, because then you kill like not only Scam but even like Tyranitar, Metagross, Jirachi. You do like, you can just blow up a defensive Jirachi or something, which can actually win you the game. I think the calc from memory is like 86 to 100 on defensive Jirachi, so if it's even a little bit chipped, I know you also have Earthquake, but maybe you can get a surprise kill on it randomly and just eliminate it, and then let like Zapdos go crazy, something like that. Yeah, I like the Earthquake to hit Jirachi, to hit Tyranitar, to hit Metagross. Common switch-ins to Snorlax. I like the Shadow Ball. You want to be able to hit Gengar. A nice way to bait in and eliminate Gengar is to curse Shadow Ball. They often will try to Wisp it to enable like a special attacker for them, because they Wisp your special wall. But sometimes it's worth taking that Wisp, just Shadow Balling the Gengar down. And I think that combined with the Psychic Metagross should handle Gengar well enough. And lastly, for the Swampert, I would use... I know that it's named Sonic, so there's a bit of irony here, but I'm going to go ahead and name it... run a slower variant. You want to outrun Blissey, but that's all you really need to outrun. I don't think that outrunning... The other thing you like outrunning maybe is Skarmory, because you can kill him before he makes a spike, but I think that you want a bit of bulk on your Swampert. And, you know, on a Spikes team, you might care about outrunning Claydol before it can Rapid Spin. On this team, you don't care. Claydol is nothing to you. So, I think you get a bit more out of the bulk than the speed overall. You can change it if you like and, like, run a Swampert that outruns Skarmory and then dump the rest in bulk. Maybe that's worthwhile. I don't know. I like the bulk, and I don't like going minus Spadef if I don't have to. If I don't really get a lot out of the speed like I would on a Spikes team. I like speedy off-pert more on Spikes teams than on mixed offense teams. Especially, this is a mixed Metagross. This is not like a Metagross that's really great versus DD Tyranitar. So having a bit of bulk helps you against like DD Tyranitar, Salamence, stuff like that. You can actually act as a defensive check while also being an offensive threat. Similar to what I said about Snorlax. Turn defense into offense. Swampert can do the same. Bulk helps you do that. So I like the bulk. And yeah, this is Jim's variant of the Sonic 06 squad. Whoops, we have to nickname the Swampert Sonic. Almost made a horrible blunder there. And I've played a couple replays here. Let's take a look at the team in action. We've got the Blaziken lead against the Skarm lead. And we've got a pretty... That's probably an Endeavor Swampert right there, so... Nice matchup for Jim. This was a weird one. The Charizard actually has HP flying. Can't say I've seen that in my career. And quite lucky he didn't have the sturdiest Swampert in the world, but I would have probably still just clicked HP Grass in that position, even if it can protect, go like get Gengar in. Blaziken still, even if it's just clicking the obvious move every turn, it's forcing big 5 squads like this to like Skarm, Tar, Swampert, Bliss. They have to just keep switching over and over. You at least reveal their team. You can even go for a random mix-up in the middle of it. Go for the Fire Blast as the Skarm comes in or something. Go for the HP Grass as the Swampert comes in. The Blaziken can be a real problem versus big, especially if they lead Skarm or Tyranitar. Like, Blaziken can just go crazy. If it doesn't just eliminate a key Pokemon like Swampert, it'll just keep forcing them to switch and just be an annoyance. So I went for a BP there. We go to the Fat Sonic. And then I predicted he would go Skarm. You can make this play sometimes. Sometimes the thing about the Curse Boom Snorlax, be careful about blowing up your Snorlax when they have something like a Jolteon and Charizard. Like, you kind of need Snorlax to wall Jolteon in this matchup. So I didn't Curse Boom. I could have eliminated the Skarm, I thought, but you know what? Let's double to Zapdos instead. Different decision. Snorlax Curse Booming is a more guaranteed way to get rid of Skarm, but comes with a risk. of losing your special wall. You don't always want that. I go for a Toxic here. I believe it missed. Unfortunate for Jim. How will Jim get out of this scenario? That's a Choice Banded Tyranitar. That was big damage on the Rock Slide. And here comes Swampert to own everything. This is like a really aggro team from good old Shaman King here. I think that this Scar must have been like speed invested because it had almost no bulk. So I don't even know if a max speed Swampert would have been faster than this particular Skarmory. That seemed like a really fast Skarmory. Must have been speed if it's not Spidef invested. Yeah, right here we go for the... The thing about Gengar is you can sort of suss out its set. Because it's, you know, it usually runs Thunderbolt, Ice Punch, something for Blissey like Explosion or Taunt, and then Wisp or a coverage move. So I went to Metagross here because I'm like, I'm in the face of a Swampert. He's just pretty much... his first choice in the face of this Swampert was Gengar. So I'm like, probably HP Grass and not Wisp. So I go to my Metagross, tank the HP Grass, force him out. You know, use a little bit of info to inform your decisions there. I was like, probably not Wisp on this set. He probably can't fit it. And apparently I should have Psychicked because that would have done more damage to this Zard. But I thought he might go to... I thought he might expect the Psychic because I went straight into Metagross. But it could have been any other Metagross, I suppose, from his perspective. So, a bit of misplay by me there, perhaps. I could have just Psychicked. I just have the... Even if he goes to Tar, I have the defensive switch to Swampert anyway, which then threatens everything on his team. Like, I just go Swampert and click Hydro Pump. He has no switch in. So that was a misplay. But here we are with the Zap once again, threatening the entire planet. Some Spikes teams will go Jolt over Bliss, and then I think that's a better matchup for this team. We can handle the Jolt just fine. I take an HP Ice in order to Toxic Jolt, and then after that I think it's smooth sailing from here. We can Curse up on the Snorlax. In this particular game, I actually wasn't running Earthquake. I was running Return. After this game, I changed it to Earthquake. I realized we want to be able to hit Tar, Meta, Jirachi, even Jolteon. Earthquake, I think, is better on this team. So, but even then, if I did have Earthquake, it still might be better to go Swampert here and play around a Rock Slide. And it turned out to click Brick Break. But that allows me to get... I went to Metagross first just to mash this. And then it crit me. A little bit unfortunate. But it's alright because we finish it off with the Zapdos. Clicked HP Ice in case he went to Jolt. He does go to Jolt again, and you can just rinse repeat in this end game here. And we have the Tyranitar to get the final hit in. Weird team from Shaman King. Although it's kind of cool. It's like a interesting take on Jolt Spikes. It's very aggro. Endeavor Pert. But yeah, sometimes these aggro teams just don't have solid rock resists or answers for mixed threats, and you can kind of just own them with the that's where Blaziken shines in matchups like that. And we've got another one. This time I went for the HP Grass off the bat, and that paid off tremendously. We did get the huge chip on Swampert, and that right there is... That's all you need to win a game when you have a DD Tar in the back. Now DD Tar clicks Dragon Dance, and it's likely that they can't do anything. All they can do is go Scarm and chance the Roar. They have to take 40% for Rock Slide and click Roar. Like, just getting that chip is game winning. Right there. And then I still have my entire Blaziken continuing to click buttons and threaten what is probably a big 5 squad. This match is a great proof of concept for this kind of Blaziken mixed offense, I think. That is a hard play to make though on turn 1, but Many players will not stay with the tar. It's kind of... And then this is kind of nonsense. By the way, this is my team. I didn't realize it at the time, but this is my mixed tar plus Charizard Big 5 team. So kind of funny. And I don't know why this guy did this. He stayed versus the Blaziken and clicked Rock Slide. I was a little bit... And then I calced it right here. I was like, it's actually a really good roll to live Thunderbolt. And then I Blaze Fire Blast. So I just clicked Fire Blast, but he got the high roll as well. So this Blaziken... Like, chipping this Swampert this much was enough. Like, Blaziken already did his job. But this Blaziken would have gotten, like... killed a Tyranitar and a Gengar as well. If not for this bad luck. So... That's a proof of concept for Blaziken if I've ever seen it. It really can destroy these teams sometimes. Like, it just hits absolutely everything. And a bit of comeuppance, we get the Psychic Spit F drop and we do a lot of damage with HP Fire. He is able to get the... What the hell was I just saying? He is able to get out of there though and thwart my aggression with the mixed Guacamole tar. Actually, I'm not sure why he didn't click HP Grass right here. This Guacamole tar actually threatened everything, but he went to Skarmory instead. I went to Snorlax. I was trying to come in against I was actually going to explode on this thing. There wasn't much else to do. I was going to use my Snorlax to just blow up on this. But he went to Skarm, so crisis averted there. And this time I clicked HP Ice. He was still in range of dying. And I click it again. I thought he might go to Swampert to try and chip heal up a bunch of health on a Thunderbolt. Because you come in, leftovers, protect, heal up to like 38 or something. But he just goes Bliss, which is extremely logical and cool and smart. And I go to Swampert. I thought he might anticipate a Focus Punch, so I went for Hydro Pump, but he clicked Toxic. And now my mixed offensive Pert is a little bit threatened now, and Skarm can make the final spike here. He clicked a Roar, which it was... I'm not understanding this guy's decision making. I don't know why he clicked Roar. He would have just let me finish off his Skarmory. He seemed to think I would switch out, I guess. Which I did. And then I D-dance up on his Protect. And look at this. This is all I need to win the game. Even after all that bad luck. I have chipped Swampert. And I've Dragon Danced with Tyranitar. I now one hit absolutely everything, including Swampert, who didn't protect for some reason. Maybe playing around another dance, but you have to protect or you die to Earthquake. Sonic 2006 proving to be one of the greatest video games of all time. Single-handedly winning a game of Generation 3 OU. Optimal click by Jim there, Earthquake, rather than Rock Slide or anything else. Well done, Jim. That was awesome. It's pretty epic if I do say so myself, but yeah. Chip Swampert, click DD. Sometimes you can just win. Versus teams like this, very common Big 5 structure, like Skarm, Bliss, Pert, Gar, and then like often offensive flying type Pokemon. Moltres, Zapdos, in Jim's case, Charizard. Look how much I just own that. That guy was making weird plays, but even so, the idea works. And this was a strange matchup. This is up against Bowl, who I've seen quite a bit on the ladder over the years, with what I can only describe as Psycho offense. With the Choice Band Armaldo and I believe a Cloyster in the back. A bit of A bit of nonsense. I go Tar here on what I expected to be a Thunder Wave. The reasoning? I wanted to make sand and prevent Zapdos from chip healing further, and then after the Thunder Wave, I'm threatening to kill it with Rock Slide. I click Double Edge, which also kills after sand, and it would hit an incoming Rock Resist also. And also is 100 accuracy, no risk of missing. Turns out it's a Flygon. I actually stayed in here because I was afraid of a Toxic on a switch out. But he just went for the straightforward Earthquake. I take this opportunity to get in my Swampert. And in comes Cloyster. Gotta say, didn't expect Cloyster plus Band Armaldo plus Flygon. Well done for bluffing the archetype. I simply go to Zapdos. And I clicked HP Ice here. I expected maybe he goes Flygon and gets baited, but I was a fool to think of that would work. Perhaps clicking Thunderbolt's better there because I can just HP Ice afterwards, but then if the Flygon protects, it's a whole mix-up. I wanted to maybe preempt it. Sometimes that's good. Just like I did in the previous game, clicking HP Grass off the bat rather than reactively once Swampert's in, because then it's more obvious what you're trying to do. You try to disguise your intent a little bit, but didn't work out this time. He hit the middle ground Snorlax. I at least revealed it, though. I go into Metagross. And right here I go for an Explosion. Hoping to take out the Snorlax, but I take out the Cloyster, which is also fine. Deny any future spikes from being made. And bit of a insane choice by my opponent here. Stays in on this Swampert. Not once, but twice. Does it again. Yeah, don't know why, but got away with it, I suppose, and came out with a hefty chunk of damage on my offensive Swampert. Perhaps had no better option there. Maybe you go Snorlax and Boom or something instead. Preserve your Armaldo. I don't know. And I wasn't sure if this was Curse Rest. I figured it probably wasn't, but people are posting a lot of screenshots in the ADV Discord lately of people running Curse Rest Snorlax, which is a set that requires a lot of support. It requires Mag, it requires like sometimes Pursuit Tar, sometimes even Weather Clear. Like, it's a win con you have to set up for, but people just chuck it on teams with no support. So I wasn't sure if this was Rest or not, but I just went with good old Hydro Pump on it. And then I will never know because I clicked Earthquake and a crit. I don't know if he would have rested. I would have just lost to that, I think. But I have Focus Punch and like Blaziken Brick Break. I still have a Snorlax Explode, so maybe not. And then last we got Jirachi, which I was able to take care of. Now that I've got Earthquake on the Snorlax, look at this. Earthquake on the Snorlax has paid for itself with you do need, like, look at the team. You kind of need something for Jirachi. Otherwise, what would I do here without Earthquake on Snorlax? I wouldn't have much of a game plan. Thunder goes to the right. Fat Sonic proving to be extremely fast and good at dodging a literal thunderbolt from the sky. And it's a simple blow up for the victory. Doesn't Sonic blow up in one of the games, or like you blow up the Dr. Robotnik's factory or something? You click like a little button on the ground. It blows up the factory. That's what Snorlax just did. Fat Sonic. That's awesome. Some weird games in the replays. I was testing. Sometimes you get just weird games over and over, but I think that this was a pretty good showcase of the team, and I would say that this can function versus meta stuff. Remember, use Zapdos versus the mixed attackers if you can. Maneuver a little bit. Try and be a bit of a gamer with the Blaziken. Preempt what they do. Try to get big hits in with your mixed coverage and set up the DD Tar win condition. And sometimes Swampert can carry you too. Destroy fat teams. Threaten everything. Yeah. Seems good to me. Oh, that's secret content. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be back with the ladder gaming tomorrow. I've got another team doctor to do as well. We'll get to that shortly. Thank you. Like and subscribe and all that. Check out Patreon. Join my Discord. Check out the ADV terms glossary. We've got various ADV jargon in there that you may not understand if you're a new player. Like, what is Astarachi? What is guacamole tar? What does it all mean? It's all in the document. The Tome of Knowledge. Take a look at the Google Doc. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'm out of here. Goodbye.